up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my life. It's been about 2 weeks, two of them, since we have been back from vacation, and yeah, it's taken me some time to digest all that went down, but you know me, I'm here with all the 411 on what went down on our vacation. So I think we can get started. I'm gonna give you guys 10 tips while telling you guys how the vacation went. So 10 tips on road tripping, traveling to Mozambique from South Africa. Let's go. So, the first tip is about medication. If you're going So the first tip is about medication. If you're going to Mozambique or any malaria stricken, any malaria area, then you have to go and buy they call them Mozitech. Those are the pills. I'll insert a picture and the link and the pricing. You have to take these pills according to the pharmacist 48 hours before you go to your destination. You have to take them while you're at your destination, and then you also have to take them 7 days afterwards. So I am done with mine. I actually have a few more, which is because there was a whole mix-up. My pills, his pills, it was a whole thing. So he actually had to go buy pills because I took his pills. It's like a whole thing. Sorry. But the one thing about these pills is they leave you emotionally like distraught. And if you're like me, you can get swayed by anything. So if you take these pills when you wake up or before you eat, you will not be okay. Your day will be completely ruined. So my sister's suggestion to me is always take them before you sleep or after your last meal at least, because they will leave you nauseous, they will leave you depressed, they will leave you asking where your mommy is, why your bank account is so low. It'll have you questioning your life, those pills. I'm not too sure what's in them. We should probably find out. They should probably be checked because the side effects are real. But nonetheless, you have to take them, like, just as a big safety precaution. As a big safety precaution, please take your malaria tablets before you travel. So that's tip number 1. Done. Tip number 2, if you're trying to figure out when the best time to visit Mozambique, I'm gonna give you a big hint. It's not in the normal summer season. You can visit Mozambique all year round. It's June right now, and it's the winter season in South Africa and in most parts of Africa. So in Cape Town, it's roughly like a high of 13 degrees on a good day, 17 degrees maybe, I don't know, check my facts. But in Mozambique, the hottest day was about 34 degrees in June. So the best times to travel are anytime basically, but it depends. Their peak season is their summer seasons. That's around December and April. That's most people's, summer holidays. But if you like to be alone, which I do, and which we were, then go around June, July. Nobody is planning a trip around those times, and that's exactly when I like to plan my summer holidays, especially in regions that are relatively hot, just because of humidity and the climate and climate change and other things that I've got no control over. But the weather, 10 out of 10, and less people just also means on the downside that things become a little bit more expensive. So some of the activities that we did and some of the things we had to pay for, because there's not a lot of demand, we had to pay for them to supply. But yes, if you like to be, treated like a princess or like a king, definitely go in the winter season. It's like the best. Cheers. Tip number 3. Guys, and it's important, because if you don't do this one, what will happen to us will 100% happen to you, and I don't want that for you guys. So please, when you leave South Africa, whether at the airport, if you're flying, whether at the garage, if you're driving, make sure you withdraw cash money. Please don't depend on your Visa debit card, your credit card, because there are some places that will not take it. And Otlachiga. And what happened to us? Any place where we didn't have money, which was like all of the places, because we did not withdraw money, we literally had to drive like an hour or 2 backwards just to withdraw, just to pay. So we, like, in a day we'd lose about 4 hours because we just didn't withdraw money. So we drove from Joburg, Soweto, into Swaziland, which was painless. In Swaziland, we didn't really need that much money, but to get out of Swaziland into Mozambique, that's where we needed, like real cash. So at the border, they require you to pay like 100 rand if you're passing with a vehicle. Like, that's the process, besides all the other shenanigans that went down. So we didn't even have 100 rand because we're so reliant on like tapping with our cards and tapping with our phones. So we had to drive back into Swaziland. It was a whole thing, and then go back to the border. So we lost about 2-3 hours. So please withdraw money. South African rands work in Swaziland. Cash is king. The exchange rate is like literally one for one in Swaziland. In Mozambique, however, when you withdraw or exchange your money, you're like a king. You're rich as fudge. So the exchange rate is about 1 rand is about 370 Mozambican Metilica. So you're rich, but make sure you withdraw money. Like, if you hear nothing in this whole vlog, kopa untshe tšhelete from banking, we tshwara ka mo passing, o tsamaye. You will have at least a 70% peaceful trip if you do this one thing. Where are we? We're at tip number 4. Travel documents. Oh my gosh. Guys, you see, with the money and the travel documents, they go hand in hand. So if you are flying, take your passport. That's most likely all you'll need. Don't forget your passport. Your life will be okay. If you're driving past the borders, please do yourself a favor. Make sure you have your vehicle registration. Make sure if it is your vehicle, you have the originals. If you are renting a vehicle or you're still paying the vehicle off, you make sure you get a copy, and if you can, get it certified. Because the drama that the Mozambican officials will start is like priceless. So those guys literally made us turn around. They made us believe that we did not have the right documents. We didn't have a SIM card. We got there past 5 o'clock, so nobody was answering their phone. And they made us believe that we did not have what we needed to cross the border, and we turned around. We had to do so much. We were delayed by a whole 24 hours because we just, I don't know. You can't really say no to the police. The thing is, now, the Mozambican police is the same as South African police. They just want slide them something nice. I mean, it's not right. Please do not get me wrong. It is not right. But Otachiga, never Okenya. Never we born in Maputo, let alone where we were going. So make sure you have the right travel documents, and make sure Otara Chelete Okono Basiela something nice. Tip number 5. This one will put the soft life people against the hard life people. And I don't even know if hard life is a real thing. But transportation. Pick your transportation wisely. Firstly, if you're flying, great. Make sure that wherever you're going, whatever resort or hotel you're going to, has hotel transfers, and that way you're sorted. You don't have to worry about driving per se. You can just be driven, and that's perfectly fine within the country. Mara, if a driver like we did, if you're doing a full-on road trip, please guys, don't be like us. We were at Sunny Car Rental. Shout out to them. They helped us get a rental vehicle, cross-border documents, everything for the vehicle. These were the options. A Mercedes SUV. I think it's called a GLA. I'll put a picture. A GLA. That was about 33,000 for 7 days. The second option was a Toyota Fortuner. That was about 29k. Yes, there are so many downsides to a Fortuner in South Africa and in Mozambique. I mean, they steal them. They pick them up like pieces of paper, put them in their pockets and leave. Like, it's not even a real car. So what we went for was a BMW. Ooh, and the car was sexy. We went for a BMW. It was a 320i. My gosh, I've been in a 320i before, but that one is next level. Like, it was beautiful. If you guys want me to do a car review, trust me, I will. Let me know in the comments of the 320. I will go in detail. But that car, just in terms of its features internally, freaking comfortable seats. It literally is like Netflix. It will be like, you've been driving for too long. Do you maybe want to take a break? It did that all the way. It has GPS navigation, Apple CarPlay, but the navigation, it's got 3D. So when you get to the I should have recorded that. When you get to your destination, the buildings are no longer 2D. They literally have a 3D version of the location that you're in, and you can see exactly where you are as if you've been immersed. Guys, crazy. How can you not go for that option? You know how you cannot go for that option? The potholes. Potholes should make you make the adult decision. Take the Fortuna. Please. It ain't worth the hype. I'm sure the Fortuna is nice inside. Maybe. I don't know. I can't be sure. But potholes are a real thing between Johannesburg. As soon as you get into Mpumalanga, it's like you've just dropped into another country where roads are just zero. They don't care about roads. Potholes in Mpumalanga, potholes in just potholes. And those things are hard to swerve. Where are we? I think we're on tip number 6. It's language. This is 6. I don't know what that was. Tip number 6 is language. Please, guys, if it's not a spontaneous trip, learn some Portuguese. You know, say hello and goodbye and good night and thank you, because they don't speak any other language. I mean, I think they do speak a little bit of Zvenda. I think so. I don't know, but they're not here with the Sesotho, the Zulu, zero. So if you want to be able to communicate with the police, with the people at the garage, if you want to be able to ask, like, where can I buy a SIM card, at least Google that, so that you're not stuck in the middle of nowhere having to use your hands like you're illiterate. Maybe not illiterate, maybe illiterate is hard, but seriously, like, their language is super important to them. They're super proud. They don't speak any of the South African languages, so you gotta get with their program so that you don't get lost, so that you can ask for directions, because we didn't. So obrigada, that means thank you. Yo, tip number 7. Tip number 7. If you are going to Mozambique, a lot of YouTubers that have spoken about the place always end up in Maputo, which is good and well because it's the capital city, it's beautiful. But if you're trying to get more bang for your buck, definitely go outside of that and get a beach resort. The place that we stayed at was beautiful, 10 out of 10. And like I said with my previous tip, if you pick the right time, you could potentially be the only people at that resort. So we had a 6-sleeper bungalow. Oh my gosh, to die for. There is staff on hand 24/7. There is a restaurant, a bar, a pool. There is direct access to the beach. And they've also got cool ties with a lot of people who do activities and excursions. So if you find a good resort, trust me, it will make your stay so much better. If you know me by now, you should know that I'm a water baby. I mean, I'm a winter baby, but I like the water, which is confusing. But nonetheless, tip number 8 is choosing the right activities and the right outdoor excursions. So I can only talk to the ones I've done, but at the accommodation, they have many options. Like I said, they are affiliated with many of these companies. You can do things like what do they call it? Not quad biking. There's sand dunes. You can do horse riding. You can horse ride in the ocean. You can wash the horse, I was told. You can do canoeing, sunset canoeing, morning canoeing. Sorry, there are many things to do. But because of all that went down with our trip, we had 2 days at our resort where we were supposed to spend 4. So on the first day, we spent it at the pool, on the beach. The temperature of the water, I'm pretty sure, was like, 25 degrees. It was so warm. Something I appreciate because in Cape Town, the water is cold. So warm waters. What we did the second day was really special though. We with the help of our resort got a doa, which is a traditional boat that chartered us out from the resort. We were on the boat for about an hour and then got to a destination, which is a special resort. It's an island. I'm not going to pronounce it, but I'll put the description. Beautiful place. We snorkeled. They prepared us a beautiful, tasty lunch. And then we just spent the day at that resort. If you're a little bit more adventurous and not lazy like we were, you can walk around and see how the people live there. They're about a population of less than 1,000, and there's a school. So there's a lot of things to do, a lot of culture to learn. So make sure you do your research and book so that you can get the best prices. Okay, we are at tip number 9. I'm very proud of myself for getting this far. Hair down the hair. Okay, tip number 9 is food. Okay, I'm a foodie. I've probably said this many times. I've probably said this in every single video. So because of that, this is part of my tips. If you think Nando's is what the people in Portuguese, no. If you think Nando's is what the people in Mexico are eating, it's a lie. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. So we actually had Nando's in Swaziland because we're lazy. But our first meal in Mozambique was their Portuguese style chicken. And I just want to say, brace yourselves. Taste wise, I'm pretty sure they could elevate it if they wanted it to. But to cover all that up, we had their prawns. So at the resort, we asked for the special prawns that everybody loves and everybody talks about when they talk about Mozambique. Oh, and it was to die for. To die for. 10 out of 10, the best meal I ate was their prawns and their seafood pasta. Oh, I can literally still taste it, and I miss it a lot. So if you're a foodie, they have so much good stuff. They've got a lot of street food, but one thing we found, one thing we found, which is super cool, which I'm very surprised doesn't exist in SA, but they have local markets, nighttime markets. So when we got to Maputo, it was like the middle of the night after we crossed the border. It was like going around 10 o'clock, and we were like, we need to get alcohol because the next place we're going is so far out of the city. We need to make sure we have alcohol. So a local directed us to this area, and I will find the name and I will add it. They have this nighttime market. So think about small street, but at night, never sleeps, and instead of clothes and counterfeit Adidas and Nike, it's alcohol, it's wine, it's spirits, it's champagne, it's everything you can think of. Once again, if you don't speak the language, they will rob you blind. But if you're okay with that, you will at least have alcohol. They don't sleep, which is great. So I think that was one of the coolest things we found, which was really great, because in our previous trips, we just never found alcohol. But I think that was also because of COVID. But I will drop the location of that alcohol spot, guys. If you're looking for something to drink, they will got you. Just be able to negotiate, be nice. The last tip is to have as much fun as you can. Thank you very much for watching and getting to the end of this video. Please subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subbies by the end of the year. Please like. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.